fellow true crime lovers. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a blessed and prosperous day or night, wherever it is that you're at. And if you are somewhere where it's hot, because you know it is the summertime and this heat is a mother. So I hope you guys are staying hydrated and all that jazz. So let's get started on today's true crime case. Now this one is going to be a doozy. So grab a snack, grab your favorite drink, and let's get to talking about today's true crime case. So today's true crime case I'm going to be talking about, and I think everybody knows this case very, very well, and it is the murder of the Tejano singer Selena Quintanilla. Now, I am a true diehard Selena fan. I was extremely sad and depressed. I wouldn't say depressed, but I was extremely sad about her passing. Mind you, Selena died when I was five years old. But I didn't know about Selena until the Selena movie came out, the one where Selena was played by Jennifer Lopez. After that, you know, I became a really diehard Selena fan, and so is my mother. And I adored Selena. I admire her for not just her music, but just for her personality. She had an amazing sense of fashion, the whole nine. She was just all around a beautiful person. And I'm not talking about looks, just a genuinely beautiful person. And she was really taken from this earth way too soon. So yeah. So let's get to cracking. Let's get to the nitty gritty of Selena Quintanilla and her unaliving. So Selena was born April 16, 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas. Her father Abraham Quintanilla and her mom Marcella had Selena. She was kind of one of those surprise babies because Marcella thought that she had a tumor in there, but lo and behold, she was pregnant the whole time. And eventually the doctor told her and Abraham that it was a boy, but then when she came out, lo and behold, she was a girl. And they didn't have a name for a girl, but the roommate that Marcella was sharing the hospital room in gave her the name Selena, and they loved it. And Selena is Hebrew for the moon, the goddess of the moon. And I absolutely love that. I love that. That is just a beautiful, beautiful name. But yeah, Abraham, he also had a music career at one point. It was the Dinos that he formed with his friends, but they didn't do so well. And he just finally just settled down and, you know, just started a family and just worked a regular job and things like that. But then when Selena got to be 9 years old, he was playing some type of music or whatever on his guitar, and Selena started singing, and he was just very impressed with her singing skills and got Selena and her brother AB and her sister Suzette together, and they formed Selena y los Dinos. So in order to make ends meet, because during that time Selena and her family grew up poor, Abraham was really trying to, you know, get some exposure and trying to get Selena and her band noticed and whatnot. And eventually they did become noticeable, and Selena was able to, you know, get that shot of stardom. And you know, she became she let out her first album in the late 80s, and you know, she really dominated the Tejano music, because prior to Selena coming onto the scene, most of Tejano music was pretty much made by men, but Selena really paved the way for other Mexican singers to come on the scene. So that's one of the main things I do admire about Selena, you know. So while Selena was doing her music thing, she was also wanted to do something for herself, which was she loved fashion. And as you know, if you were a Selena fan such as myself, you knew that she loved everything fashion. She was always designing her own pieces and making them her own and things like that, which led to her opening up her own boutique / salon called Selena Etc. And also too, during this time, she became friends with this lady. Her name is Yolanda Saldívar. And Yolanda actually reached out to Suzette, which was Selena's older sister, in starting a fan club. And before that, Yolanda reached out to this other singer. Her name was Shelly Lares. I don't know if you pronounced her name right, but Shelly Lares was up there with Selena too, as far as, you know, in the music world and stuff like that. And she reached out to Shelly Lares at first. Her father was her manager as far as starting a Shelly Lares fan club. And her dad shut her down, like, no, we don't need all that. And I think looking back on it, I think Shelly was thinking to herself, like, I think I dodged a huge bullet on working with Yolanda, because look what happened. You know, if you know, you know. But then eventually Yolanda reached out to, once again, she reached out to Suzette, and also her and Suzette and Abraham all talked it out, and, you know, wanting to start a fan club. And Yolanda was willing to do this for free of charge. You know what I mean? Because prior to that, Yolanda worked as a nurse at the time. But I guess she wanted different. I guess she was bored with her nursing career. That's what it came to my mind at first, but it gets worse later on. But yeah, so she reaches out, and, you know, she puts together this fan club for Selena, and everything was all good and gravy, right? Or so we all thought. So Yolanda, Selena was very impressed. I mean, this was all front, should I say, because Selena and Abraham all saw how well she was doing the fan club thing, you know what I mean? Eventually, Selena appointed Yolanda as manager for her boutique. She gave her a credit card and a cell phone. The credit card, I assume, was just to get certain things necessary for the boutique and whatnot. But, you know, here's the thing, Yolanda blew through that. I mean, she was getting all this fancy stuff for her, not for Selena's business, but she was using that same credit card that Selena gave her for business purposes only, to sit up here and stunt in front of the people, in front of her little friends or whatever have you and whatnot. And it really caused a riffraff with Selena's staff that worked at her boutique. The main person that she worked with, as far as a designer, his name was Martin Gomez. And he has said that Yolanda was really going on a major power trip, should I say. If she ain't like you, she will fire you on the spot, because mind you, Yolanda was the manager of her boutique, right? So, you know, Martin, he has said that, he eventually, I don't think Yolanda fired him. Martin just quit on his own. He told Selena, like, hey, you need to watch out for Yolanda. She's not who you think she is. But of course, you know, Selena, even Abraham and a couple of people have said that Selena was very naive. She was very too trusting. So when people, including Martin and her other staff, came to Selena about Yolanda's rampage and her, you know, all that other stuff and her rages, you know, Selena just, like, when she just literally thought her mind, like, oh no, Yolanda's my friend, she would never do this to me, you know, she would never do nothing like that. This is my friend, you know, I trust her, you know what I mean? But then those same people that was working for Selena's boutique, they went to Selena's father, Abraham, and Abraham took matters into his own hands and did some investigating himself, right? So when Abraham did his own investigation, he saw forged checks that Yolanda made, and basically Yolanda was stealing from Selena's boutique. And when she was running the fan club, a lot of fans were complaining that they didn't get any type of autographed pictures. They didn't receive anything that they were promised. If they were to join Selena, Yolanda had it to where, like, if you were to join Selena's fan club, you would get a free autograph picture or a t-shirt or whatever, and none of those fans received none of that. So they were complaining about that. And of course, you know, Abraham was trying to make up for what Yolanda did by, you know, trying to give out what they were promised. So yeah, Yolanda was jacking up on the fan club and also jacking up in her boutique, you know. So when it came about, and Abraham and Suzette basically sat down, and Selena was there too. They all sat down and confronted Yolanda on what Abraham found, which was the forged checks and the embezzlement of Selena's boutique. And of course, you know, Yolanda denied it, and she's like, no, I'm being framed, this and that and the third. And it all went back to that, back when Yolanda was working as a nurse, she was working for a doctor, and she was embezzling from her doctor, from the doctor that she worked with, and it got settled out in court and it was swept under the rug. Now, here's my thing. Where Abraham, mind you, Selena's father Abraham was very leery of people, which as he has every right to be leery of other people, especially people that are not family. And, you know, he was trying to tell Selena that Yolanda's not to be trusted. I mean, you see the evidence right here. You know, she's stealing from you. She's not fulfilling her duties as a manager for your boutique. She's also not fulfilling her duties as a fan club president, because she's over promising these people this stuff, but they ain't receiving it, right? So, but of course, Selena was trying to tell her dad, like, nah, you know, no, Dad, this is, you know, this could be all a big mistake. And she saw the evidence right there with the checks and everything. But, you know, she was trying to give Yolanda, at least Selena was trying to give Yolanda the benefit of the doubt, you know, because once again, it all goes back to what everybody says. Selena was very too trusting. You know, she was very, you know, too trusting. Abraham wasn't. And they was all trying to tell her, like, nah, you know, you really have to watch out for Yolanda. You know, she's going to come after you and she's going to do you dirty. She's already doing you dirty by stealing from you. But if you don't watch yourself, she's going to do a lot worse, right? So on March 30th, 1995, Selena goes to Yolanda's hotel at the Days Inn and to retrieve documentation that she needed to file taxes, because this was around tax season and she wanted to get her taxes filed before the deadline, which is usually in mid-April, right? So she goes there. Chris drives her there. Chris waits in the car. Chris is her husband, by the way. If you don't know, you know now. Chris Perez drives her there, and she gets the documents and she goes back home, right? So once her and Chris get home, she goes through the documentation. She still sees that she's missing a few documents that she needed to file her taxes. So she calls Yolanda, tells Yolanda, like, hey, where's the rest of my documents? Yolanda, of course, was trying to distract Selena and tell her, like, well, I was raped when I was in Mexico a few nights ago by these men. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute. And Selena probably thinking to herself too, like, okay, I'm sorry that you got raped or whatever, but I need my documentation, right? I need my documents so I can file these taxes. But I know Selena, being the sympathetic person that she is, she's like, all right, you know, I'll take you to the hospital tomorrow to get you examined and stuff like that, because like I said, Yolanda claims she was raped, right? So literally the morning of March 31st, the tragic morning, should I say, Selena takes Yolanda to the hospital. They did an examination, and the doctors told Selena that they found no evidence of Yolanda being raped. And that's when it clicked to Selena, right? That Selena's like, oh, I know this bitch is lying to me. I know they lying. So it dawned on her, like, yeah, that her dad and everybody else that was trying to tell her that Yolanda is a grimy ass bitch. It's just what it is. So of course, she takes Yolanda back to her hotel room at the Days Inn, in room 158 to be exact. If you don't know, now you know. So yeah, they get back to Yolanda's hotel room, and she told Yolanda, like, listen, I ain't got time to be playing games with you. I need my dang documents. Stop playing with me. I need to get I need to get my dang documents. I need my paperwork so I can file my dang taxes, right? You know what I mean? But of course, they get the arguing back and forth, you know, stuff like that. And nobody really knows what transpired or whatever. But, you know, a couple of housekeepers that was at the Days Inn Hotel heard the gunshot, because Yolanda got the, you know, once Selena saw the gun, right, she went to run out the hotel room, but too late. Yolanda shoots her in the back. Yeah, in the back. And here's the crazy part. When Yolanda shot Selena, of course she claimed it was an accident, right? But I can't get over that, because she claimed that she told Selena not to open the door. She was pointing the gun like, oh, don't open that door, don't open that door. and she said the gun went off accidentally. Does that make sense to y'all? Seriously. Because I like to look at it like this. If the gun went off by accident, it probably would have, especially the way she was pointing it. Like I said, I don't know too much about guns. I really don't. Maybe y'all can let me know in the comments or whatever. But even common sense would tell me, like, you need to freaking squeeze that gun. You know what I mean? You have to actually squeeze that trigger to pull it and go off. Like, the math ain't mathing on that. She knew, and mind you guys, Yolanda used to be a nurse. Mind y'all, right? So my thing is, if it was a so-called accident, wouldn't she drop the gun, right? And help Selena, call 911, something, right? So we all know that she was lying. Like, anybody that believes Yolanda's bogus story is a damn fool, if you ask me. Okay, so after Yolanda shoots Selena in the back, Selena dropped all her stuff. She had her purse, her phone, everything. She just dropped it all on the ground, and she literally ran. And the lobby at the hotel was pretty kind of far out, so she was really a brave soul to be running, knowing that she's bleeding to death, and she was trying to, but mind you, the bullet went through her back and through here, right? So like, she was sitting there trying to survive. She's over here fighting, you know what I'm saying? So she gets to the lobby, she's yelling, help, help, I've been shot, please lock all the doors. She could shoot me again, things like that. So of course, the people that worked at the hotel, they came, and the manager of the hotel was trying to calm her down, like, trying to talk to her, like, hey, and then the other lady who called the police, she called 911 and told them what happened, like, yeah. And here's the thing, how Yolanda got caught before these were Selena's last words before she died, was she was able to name Yolanda as her assailant. She said, Yolanda, room 158. So that was what the people at the hotel has, said to the 911 operator, right? So then Yolanda, I guess she was trying to leave, but like by this time she was surrounded by police, and one of the police negotiators was trying to talk to her and try to get her to admit, maybe it was an accident, maybe, and because she kept saying like, oh, I didn't mean to shoot her, blah blah blah, I hope she's okay, things like that and whatever. Like I said, she was talking to this police negotiator for like, it was a 9-hour standoff. So she was talking, because they all had her surrounded, mind you, right? They all had her surrounded, because she was in her truck or whatever, and they, she couldn't leave if she wanted to because she was surrounded. They had her blocked in. Also, while she was talking to the police negotiator for 9 whole hours, y'all, 9 hours. So finally, she was able to surrender after 9 hours, and then she was taken in, and taken into jail and whatnot. And of course, her case, I wouldn't say story, but her case went to trial. And they moved the trial to Houston, Texas, because I think they believe that if Yolanda would have had her trial in Corpus Christi, because that's where Selena mostly grew up from, she wouldn't have a fair trial. So they moved her trial to Houston, Texas, right? So then they all questioned her, and they all got all the witnesses, especially the witnesses who saw they weren't in the room when Yolanda and Selena was, arguing and whatnot. They weren't there. But one of the housekeepers did hear the gunshot wound. Not the gunshot, but they heard the gunshot, right? And then they saw Selena, like I said, one of the witnesses said, yeah, they saw Selena run to the lobby, and then they saw Yolanda partially chasing her and then yelling, bitch, right? Pretty much calling Selena a bitch, right? She yelled, bitch, right? So, and Selena thought Yolanda was going to shoot her again, right? So mind you guys, the gun, never mind the gun that Yolanda had, the bullets that she purchased with the gun were hollow point bullets, okay? Keep that in mind. And I did my research on hollow point bullets. Hollow point bullets do more damage than a typical bullet. So when Yolanda was sitting there saying that it was an accident and she didn't mean to kill Selena. She had every intention on killing Selena, because and she claims she got the gun for protection. Cool, that's cool. But to get hollow point bullets, yeah, that's very questioning, if you know what I mean, right? So, and plus, mind you guys, again, Yolanda used to be a nurse. Keep that in mind. If it was a so-called accident, she would have dropped that gun and try to help Selena. And if anything, she probably would have got off easy if she were to just tell the police that this was an accident, I didn't mean to shoot her, blah, 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 blah. She probably would have just got a light sentence, if that. But then again, I don't think she probably would have gotten, no, because Selena was an all-around superstar, and her family would have gotten really serious justice if Yolanda would have gotten a lighter sentence, whether it was an accident or not, right? So still, that's besides the point. And mind you, I'm only talking about the hollow point bullets because when Selena got shot, it went through her back all the way out here, right? And the bullet severed a subclavian artery, which was leading to the heart, and that's what killed Selena. She was bleeding internally. On top of that, her veins were collapsing. This was on her way to the hospital. You know, the paramedics was trying to put an IV, but her veins was collapsing and stuff like that. She was slowly dying. And I think even some even said that had she not ran after she got shot, because of the adrenaline, right? But I mean, Selena had to run because she didn't know if Yolanda was going to shoot her again, right? So yeah, so I get why Selena ran, right? Now, there were speculations when the doctors were trying to save Selena's life, right, that her father, Abraham, didn't want to do a blood transfusion because it was against their Jehovah's Witness religion, right? But either way, they did try to do a blood transfusion, but to no avail, because once again, Selena was bleeding internally and there was nothing that they could have done. So basically, Selena was all around just gone. She was pronounced dead at 1:05, 1:02 in the afternoon. And it was very devastating. It was very, very devastating. And, you know, all the doctors who testified at Yolanda's trial all said the same thing, that had the bullet hit above the artery or below the artery, Selena would have lived. And for the simple fact, you know, when you go to nursing school, which I'm sure what Yolanda did, hence why she became a nurse, she had to know about the human body, right? And what parts to hit that can kill that person, right? You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that she had to take a gun class as well before she even got the, you know, before she purchased the gun. So I'm pretty sure they showed her on what parts that can kill a person too, on top of that. I'm pretty sure. Who knows, right? So yeah, that was just my take on it. And then, like, you know, Yolanda, she was found guilty of murder and she was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. And she was up for parole early this year, back in March, but it did get denied because, you know, everybody, you know, the parole board was more concerned about her safety if she were to get released, which was, you know, they should have, you know, she shouldn't even, to me, she should not even get parole to begin with, because she don't deserve to be walking out here in society. No, absolutely not. No. You know, and Yolanda even has stated that if she were to get out of prison, she would want to work for Shakira. And let me tell you something. If Shakira was smart, and I'm pretty sure she heard this, I will hope Shakira will file a damn restraining order against Yolanda's ass. Because Lord knows I will, if I found out that, you know, if I found some shit out like that. So I will hope, you know, Shakira would have filed a restraining order against Yolanda if she were to get out and stuff like that. Because you ain't about to do me, sis. You ain't about to do me, sis. You ain't about to do me what you did to Selena. No ma'am, no sir, we ain't doing that here. So yeah, also too, like, Yolanda can't see the parole board again until March of 2030. So only a couple, that ain't that far away now. That is not that far away. You know, and also Selena's family has also petitioned to keep Yolanda in there, because even though Abraham has said whether Yolanda gets out of prison or not, it's still not going to bring back his daughter, Selena. So, I mean, he is right about that. Like, nothing can really bring Selena back. So whether she stays in prison or she gets released, still not going to bring Selena back. You know, Selena's been gone for over 30 years. You know, and I still listen to her music every day. You know, like I said, I'm a diehard Selena fan, and I'm gonna still rock her music until the day I die, right? But yeah, that is the story of Selena Quintanilla's murder, and I hate that she was taken way too soon from us. I mean, she really had a lot going for her, and we all know that Yolanda was just jealous of Selena. And you know what? This story should really teach folks a lesson, these young folks a lesson, even people my age a lesson, and so on and so forth. And not everybody is your friend. Period, point blank. Hey guys, sorry, my phone died when I was trying to record the rest, and I let it charge for a little bit, and then I got in the shower, changed clothes and all that stuff. But anyway, this is the conclusion of the Selena murder case, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you are a Selena fan like me, hey girl hey, or hey dude hey. And also too, if you're new to my channel, I welcome you with big open arms. And if you're not new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and like this video and comment and all that jazz. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.